Okay, welcome back, guys. Welcome back to another reaction story time video. I haven't made these in a long time, and I want to just get back to what I usually do because busy. And by the way, I don't have access to my podcast anymore, so for the podcast, I'm just starting over. I would say that in another video. Now, that's it. Let's get going.
And when I was in the back room with the security guard, she ended up taking off her uniform and things got insane. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba and welcome back to another really embarrassing story. So today's story all takes place back in my actual high school years, actually in grade 11. Now in grade 11, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was a major player. I'm not joking when I say this. If the thing was walking, chances are I would do the devil's tango with it. I know that sounds really bad in YouTube. Please don't take that out of context and make me seem like I'm like some kind of criminal, but I will say this, I was a major player and pulling girls was my game. And I remember back when I was in high school, there was a moment where, I'm not gonna lie to you, there was this one girl at my school that was considered a really bad influence. I am not joking when I say this. A lot of girls did not like her because she would act really, I guess in a way, sketchy. Not like sketchy like she would draw on herself, like sketchy like she would want to do illegal things all the time. Now for some reason, me back when I was in grade 11, I thought this was kind of attractive. I thought it was really hot how this girl was a bad girl. So I remember one day I ended up walking up to her saying, hey, like, what's going on? I remember she looked at me kind of disgusted and said, what do you want? Nothing, I'm just saying hi. I don't know why you gotta be so rude about it. Leave me alone. Like, you're not even at my level. And she ended up walking away. Now, when someone tells me that I'm not on their level, I take offense to that personally. So I remember the next day I decided to do the same thing. I ended up walking up to her and basically trying to riz her up again, saying, hey, like, I should get your snap, is what I told her instead of just saying hello. She looks at me and she said, Bubba, name one good reason why you should get my Snapchat. Here's one, because whatever you can do, I can do better. She ends up looking at me and laughing, and she's like, was that supposed to be like some kind of man joke? No, it's just the truth, I guess. But at that moment, she ended up smiling at me, and well, I guess it did kind of work because she did give me her Snapchat, but on certain terms. She said, Bubba, today after school, meet up with me. Wait, why? Like, I'm busy after school today. I don't know if I can like actually meet up today. Meet up with me today or I'm gonna block you. Okay. I'll meet up with you. So I remember after school that day came around and basically I ended up going to the front of the school. Now, my school was close to a mall that was really close by. And this mall was, well, known for having a lot of teenagers and students there because, well, it was so close to a school. So I remember me and her after school that day, we met up and she instantly starts walking with me towards the mall. Now, I thought that this girl wanted to do like a traditional date where we sit down and eat at the mall food court and just talk about ourselves. And basically her trauma dumped me about why she's so sketchy. Boy, was I wrong. Because I remember once we got to the mall, we instantly started going to a bunch of different stores and I didn't understand why. We went to different stores and one moment she was beside me and the next minute she was gone. And then she ended up actually showing up out of nowhere beside me and told me to leave the store as fast as possible. So me and her, we ended up leaving the store together and then she ended up handing me things that she bought apparently. 100% this girl did not buy the things that she was giving to me. I could tell because one, who puts lipstick and a bunch of like clothing in their pants without paying for it? Like this girl didn't even have a wallet. Like that's how confident I was that she was basically stealing. And stealing is not a good idea, by the way. No one steals. It's not a good thing to do. And I remember I ended up like basically kind of confronting her on it saying, yo, you know you're stealing, right? Like we can get in serious trouble. Bubba, these are all like huge corporations. Like they're not gonna miss one lipstick. They're not gonna miss this blouse. Like they're all just like little things to these corporations. If I take this, they're not even gonna care. She kind of missed the point of what I was trying to say, that stealing in general isn't good, but at the same time, she did have a point. Not saying you should steal. I'm just saying her points were pretty cool. So one thing led to another. I remember things got really awkward. And I remember me and her, we just kept going to a bunch of different stores and it got to the point where I'm not gonna lie to you, my backpack was getting heavy. And as we were walking around, I remember there was this one mall security guard that was walking around the mall and she was a lady that was, I'm not gonna lie, she was actually pretty attractive. I'm not gonna say she was ugly. Like it blew my mind how she was a security guard, but she was basically walking around the mall at that time. And over time and time again, when we would walk past her, she would notice that my backpack was filling up with a bunch of different things. And one thing led to another. We ended up getting stopped by the security guard. She ends up looking at both of us before we entered our next store and said, excuse me, can I ask what's in your bag? At that moment, when she asked what was in my bag, instantly, this girl that was sketchy, that I was like, you know, originally trying to talk to, literally sprinted and ran away. She ran away and sprinted. And this security guard did not care. She was more focused on my backpack. So she stood there looking at me saying, well, can I see the backpack, please? At that moment, I knew I was busted. I knew that I was gonna get in serious trouble for something that I really didn't do. In reality, I was just an accomplice. But obviously, I wasn't panicking at the time. I ended up just putting my backpack down, kind of worrying, and she ended up going through my backpack and said, did you pay for these? Do you have a receipt? No. To be honest with you, like, they were all stolen. I'm not gonna lie to you. She ends up seeing how I was trying to be really nice and just, like, you know, be straight up with her. She respected that, but she wanted to talk to me in another room. So me and her, she ended up basically, like, guiding me to, like, these, like, corridors where it kind of looked like the back rooms of the mall. And basically, I sat down at the security station where there was, like, kind of like an interrogation room. Now, I sat there kind of worrying, and after, like, 10 minutes of leaving me in there, she walked in saying, can I get your name? My name's Bubba. And, how old are you? I just turned 17, turning 18 next year. Okay, interesting. Bubba, I have a question. Yeah, what's going on? Well, all these are stolen. You do realize that, right? Yeah, I know. To be honest with you, like, the girl that was with me earlier, she stole them all, and, like, she just told me to put in my backpack. I thought she bought it at first, but I knew she was lying, and, like, I really didn't mean it. And then one thing led to another. I remember she told me I either had the choices of calling my parents or I get arrested. And I told her that I did not want to do any, because obviously I was a teenager at the time. I was kind of scared, and I didn't want to get in serious trouble. So she looks at me again and says, okay, well, I can give you a third option. And that's when it happened. The most insane thing happened where she ended up standing up and taking off her uniform. And she said, well, are you going to join me or what? And that's when we did it. We ended up doing the Devil's Tango. Literally in that interrogation room, as if we were like in like a video on the Devil's Hub. And I started like being mind blown that this was even an option. Like, does everyone get this? Do I get special treatment? Like, I didn't know what was going on, but we ended up doing it. And then one thing led to another. I remember her walkie-talkie that was on the floor because she took off her uniform ended up basically beeping. And I guess that meant like there was like a shift change in like security guards. So she ended up basically getting ready as fast as possible, basically getting ready faster than I did. And she left. She literally just left and said I was free to go. I ended up walking out of there, and I had my backpack still, and it was still full of all the stuff. So she didn't even really care about that. And one thing led to another. I ended up leaving the mall, and right as I left, I get a Snapchat from the girl saying, Bubba, like, thanks for like covering for me. Here, meet up with me here. So I ended up meeting up with this girl that was the sketchy girl after, and she looked at me and saw me with all the stuff in my bag, and she said, wait, you have everything still? Yeah, like I said, whatever you can do, I can do better. And well, one thing led to another. Well, me and her, we ended up talking, and we ended up doing the Devil's Tango as well later on. Kind of insane how I pulled two girls in the same day, one by accident and one by purpose, I guess. But this just goes to show that if you subscribe to this channel, you can fall for more embarrassing stories just like this one. Peace out, guys.
Subscribe if you want more.
I buy the same product.